Hi, date this 24th June, time is this. And in the last session, we have seen preserving and resetting the state. One topic is pending, form handling. I will take that topic later on. So today I will introduce you to the concept of reducer. The concept of what? Reducer. So the components with many state updates spread across many event handlers can get the overwhelming. For these cases, you can consolidate all the state update logic outside your component into a single function called as reducer. Let's create a new folder, day 103.
So please share your screen.
Yeah. So day, rename 103. Open the terminal. nvm use 18 cd desktop stack cd day 103 npm. What is the command? Right?
npm create with
At the rate latest. It will create a new React project. Why? nvm use 18. Reducer, React reducers. It should be React, plain JavaScript, cd React reducers, npm install. Okay. So here if you see, components with many state updates spread across many event handlers can become overwhelming. For these cases, we can consolidate all state update logic outside your component in a single function called as reducer. In a single function called as what? The reducer. Can you see too many? If you see, this is also state update, this is also state update, this is also state update. Say 12, add the task, edit, something like this, right? There are a lot of state updates. Okay. So whenever you have such scenarios, lot of state updates. Now go here in main.jsx, app.jsx. Okay, 102. Here is the 103. Just delete the app.css. Index.css we don't need. App.jsx. Just delete this much part. Delete it. And in the main JSX, index.csx, delete it. Okay. So here, if there are a lot of state updates like this, so here also, if you click on the add, something is going to happen, right? And many things will need the state updates. So in such scenarios, there would be many, what you can say, task updates. So let's get the code from here only. So here I can, let's have these things. Okay, initial tasks, these are the initial tasks we have, and let's get this prog itinerary. Okay, add a task, app.js. Just a minute. Let's open it here. I just need a code of the add tasks. There are two functions, add task and the task list. So it would be generating. So there are a lot of state updates. Can you see on change task? This is a prop, this is a prop, this is a prop. To the add task, on add task, this is a prop. So it is generating. So there is a one concept called as reducer, use reducer. Can you see how to refactor the use state to the use reducer? So when you say use reducer, it is one of the hook, and how that hook works we will see. Just a minute. Let's use their code only. App.js. Yeah, app.js, add task.js. So I can have this add task.js code. So new file, add task.js, new file, task list.js, task list.js. This is the task list. Okay, this is the add task, and we need to import this guy. Import add task from add task, import task list from task list. Okay, now and this use state is missing, const task set tasks. let's get this const tasks, set tasks. If you run this code, npm run dev task list ul. Okay, so there is one more thing, something called as task. Under the task list, okay, under the task list there is a task. What's the error now? The JSX extension. Okay, just rename the file name. It should be JSX. If the file is containing the JSX, it should have the JSX like this. Otherwise, there would be problem. npm run dev still. Add a task. What's the concern? Import, add a task, task list, task list, task list. No matching export. Oh, that is the default one. That is the default export. So brackets are not needed. Okay. Localhost 5173. Handle add a task is not defined. Okay, handle add a task is not defined. So in app.js, handle add task, this function should be there. Then handle change task, function should be there. Can you see at how many places you are setting the state? At how many places you are setting the state? Add, add, delete. Everywhere you are setting the state. And React says that this is little bit problematic. What React says that if you handle the state on the different places like this, so here there is a state update, here there is a state update, here there is a state update. React says that this is something problematic. And what did it say? Says consolidate state logic with a reducer. As your components grow in a complexity, it can get harder to see at a glance and all different ways with the state gets updated. So here you will not understand how exactly state is getting updated. Now first step, if this is something that you have, first step, move from setting the state to the dispatching the actions. See, you are directly setting the state over here, set tasks. Move from setting the state to dispatching the actions. Handle task, these things, right? So your event handlers are currently what to do by setting the state. So here you can say handle task, dispatch this, handle change task, handle delete tasks, right? Hello? Hello? So instead, they handle the state directly. They should, what you can say, handle add task, handle change task, handle delete task. They should dispatch the actions. So move from the setting state to the dispatching actions. Move from setting state to the dispatching actions. Mute. Okay. So here you can say, here you can say, so here we can create one file called as new file actions.js. So inside that I can write function handle task. So here you would be having a dispatch. So here you would be having again dispatch, and here you would be having again a dispatch. So dispatch is a function. Am I audible? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you see the handle task, you are not changing the state. File, open folder, merge stack. Yeah. So here actions. So this is something called as dispatch. So we need to import this guy. Import dispatch from React. Just a minute. Just reformat the code. Now, now here, if you see, here if you see, everything have been changed to the dispatch. So here, if you see, everything have been changed to the dispatch, right? So you just open this thing, just a minute. Now if you have copied from them, let's do it. Task reducers. So in app.js, in app.js, okay, so dispatch is like this. Handle. So in app.jsx, let's keep this as it is, and I will comment out, and I will just attach old to this. Old. Let's comment this thing, and new const use reducer, use reducer and dispatch is function. Again, use reducer, it will accept the task reducers, right? If you see here, task reducers, so this task reducer, if you see, the task reducer is the function that you have written in the same file. We may opt to write it in a separate file. So I can rename this. Here we can say task reducers dot js, task reducers dot js. So in a task reducer, let's get, sorry, in a task reducer, what is this we will see shortly, just don't worry. So these old things I will keep as it is, the state have been commented. And now in the app.js, handle task will dispatch the function. Instead of changing the state, it will dispatch handle change task. This is a handle add task, handle this task, function handle delete task. Now if there are a lot of state changes, this pattern may trouble you, like changing the state from this thing. So instead of this you need to dispatch the actions. You need to what? Dispatch the actions. And here task reducer, so we have, if we have sent the task reducer from here, just import that, import task reducer from this, and this task reducer has been passed over here. Sorry, tasks reducer, tasks reducer. Now if you go and refresh it, still this thing is working, and still this thing is working, and there is no state management. We are doing the state management by means of the reducer, use reducer. So what was the intention? What is the intention over here? The intention over here is that reducers are the different way to handle the state. You can migrate use state to use reducer in 3 steps. Move setting the state to the dispatching actions. Write a reducer function. Use the reducer from your component, right? If you go here, use reducer is from the React, use reducer. That use reducer will give you something called as tasks and the dispatch action. So whenever you change the state, if you see here, tasks are these tasks, whatever tasks you are getting are given to the task list component, right? And on the every state change, on add task, on change task, on delete task, you are dispatching the action. Can you see dispatching? Dispatching. Now move from setting the state to the dispatching actions. Remove all the state logic from handle state. Managing the state with the reducer is slightly different from directly setting the state. Instead of telling a React what to do by setting the state, you specify what user just did by dispatching actions from your event handler. See, here they have said managing the state with reducers is slightly different from, if you see here what you are doing, here you are simply calling, this is the set task function which is given to you by use state, and under this old you are simply directly changing the state over here, but that is different over here. So here you are not changing the state, but here you are saying that what action user have performed. User have performed add action, right? User have performed the add action, right? Handle add task. So here is the handle add task. User have performed which action? Add action. And that we have done over here. So the state update logic will live elsewhere. So instead of setting the task via event handler, you are dispatching an action added, change, deleted. You have dispatching an added, change, and deleted a task action. This is more descriptive than the user's than the user's intent of the user's intent. So handle task, dispatch this, dispatch this. The object you pass to the dispatch is called as action. Can you see dispatch is a function which is given to you by useReducer? The object you pass to the dispatch is called as action. Right? In the regular JavaScript object, you decide what to put in it, but generally it should not contain the minimal information about what happened. So you will add the dispatch function itself. So they have said, okay, write the reducer function. Reducer is nothing but this reducer. This is the reducer function. So a reducer function is where you will put the state logic. It takes the two arguments, the current state and the action object. It will take current state and the action object. It will, so if you see here, from here you are passing the from here you are passing the type, and that thing you are checking over here. Dispatch dispatches the action object to the reducer. Reducer will get the previous state and the action object. Sorry, dispatcher would be having the current state and the action object. So reducer function will have where you will put your state logic. It takes the two arguments, the current state and the action object, and it returns the next state. Do not forget, reducer is doing three things. It is accepting the current state. It is accepting the current state, and it is accepting the current state, and it is accepting the current state. It is getting the action and returning the new state object. And returning what? New state object. Reducer function is where you will put your state logic. It takes the two arguments, the current state and the action object, and it returns the next state. React will set the state to what you return from the reducer. So whatever you return from the reducer, that would be the next state. Whatever you return from the reducer, right? This is the return statement from the reducer function. Whatever you return from the reducer, that would be the next state. You getting my point? Because the reducer function takes the state task as an argument, you declare it outside of your component. This decreases the indentation level and code reading is easy. Use the reducer from your component. So here use reducer. So this has been commented and we have written const tasks dispatch, use reducer, task reducer, and the initial tasks. So use reducer hooks takes the two argument, a reducer function and the initial state. Reducer function and initial state. And it returns a stateful value and the dispatch function. So this thing is called as same like the state. This is the stateful value and this is the dispatch function. Stateful value and the dispatch function. Correct? A stateful value and the dispatch function. So this is just the overview I have given. This is just what overview I have given. Tomorrow we will discuss it in more details. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
React reducers.
Hello.
Fine, let's call it for a day.
Hello.
We'll meet tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.